All right, well, good morning, folks. Welcome to the 31st Breakfast Ball. If you're wondering what we do in our free time, we typically just goof off. We're here today live at Valari's National Lakeside Restaurant, Bar, Grill, Tiki Bar, and part-time golf course. I am your host, Bob Cardia. To my left, your far right, the dashing Richie Stoltz. And the big dog here, the owner, or one of the owners, Valari's National, Nick Abate, the handsome Nick Abate.
Hello, everyone.
And making her breakfast ball debut, Jules, with a wonderful Italian last name.
Parasano, Giuliano Parasano.
There you go, guys. So we're all just going to hit a couple golf shots before we start the show today. Hope everybody enjoys.
I can't look back, it's too late now. My days are hours and I don't know how. But I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man, until I'm done.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to the 31st Breakfast Ball, which is crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. Yeah. I am your host, Bob Cardia. To my far left, your far right, the dashing Richie Stoltz. And to my immediate left, your immediate right, the handsome Nick Abate, owner, or one of the owners of Valari's National, or Valari's Lakeside Restaurant and Tiki Bar. And then, new to the program today, guys, and I really, really appreciate her coming out here today, is Jules with the wonderful Italian last name.
Parasano.
Parasano. Beautiful. All right. See, we allow Richie to be on the program even though he's not Italian.
I think I got Italian in me.
Nice.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. What?
I said leave Richie.
Richie to me.
Yeah.
Golf ball, doesn't he?
Leave me
He
alone.
does.
Yeah.
He sure does.
Yeah. Richie's golf ball that he hit on to start the show just landed in Cleveland about 10 minutes ago. Anyway, so as a reminder, guys, if you put in the comment section that I love the breakfast ball, if you're one of the first 10, you go into a hat, and we have a drawing, and you can win a Starbucks gift card. So last week, by the way, whoever won the gift card, I did email them asking for their address so we could send it to them, and I checked the email this morning, and I didn't see anything back. So if you want your gift card, I need to know who you are and where to send it to. just saying. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Anyway, today, guys, we're going to be talking about mental toughness, and that is in sports, obviously, because that's what this is a performance
Psychology.
type of show, yes. But what's that?
Psychology.
But yeah, performance psychology, right? Okay, there you go. Okay. So, also it can be applied in business and in life. So, the first quote of the day we're going to do today is: mental toughness can be demonstrated at a particular moment in time or over the long term, as in your overall career success. Doing something that's hard over and over again is like depositing money in your inner strength bank account. I love that, okay, because I know Nikki here has been running Valari's for what, 24 years?
24, yes, Bob. 24
years, right? And it didn't happen overnight, right?
No, 24 years.
Nikki can count. It's wonderful. Nikki does kids parties.
Absolutely.
No, the truth of it is, like when I say, hey, we're going down to do Valari's, actually this happened to me yesterday or the day before. I said, we're doing our podcast at Valari's. And someone says, oh, I love that place. And I said, well, my friend owns that place. So, and that was, we were probably, I think, up in Cherry Hill. So, like, you know, it takes a while for word to spread, but, you know, over periods of time, hard work daily, you know, that's what can happen. And then, you know, obviously I talk about Kevin Hart, and I talk about Richie. Kevin Hart, I saw an interview with him once, and they were talking about that he does crappy movies all the time. But he said it's funny. He took the roles he could get, he did what he did over and over again, got up early every morning for like 10 years, and then now he's a household name. But he laughed because he said, well, they say I'm an overnight success. Well, it took like 10 years for him to become an overnight success.
Yep.
And then we have Richie there, right? And then Richie, he went to West Deptford High School, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did really well there. Then went to Methodist, and he was the number 6 man on the national championship team, right?
Mm-hmm.
At Methodist. Then they transferred to Rutgers. But he'd never won a golf tournament, right? But Richie persevered. Finally got a really good coach. And ended up winning what? How many tournaments in a row did you win?
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
When I
3 in a
won
row.
the first one, won the first one, won the next one, won the next one.
I know, right? That's how you went 3 in a row.
Yeah. Whatever, Bob.
All right. Well, Nick, you said 24 years, so I had to. It's like my mom said: if you can't make fun of someone else, who can you make fun of?
Fair.
Right.
Fair.
Anyway, Jules, you played golf for Williamstown, correct?
Yes.
Okay. When did you start playing?
I started playing my sophomore year of high school,
Okay.
which was really fun. It was really fun getting on the girls' team, and then I did private lessons as well.
Mm-hmm.
I did them there and at home, and then I played my junior year as well.
Okay.
And then we went to a championship as well, and we won.
Nice. So you didn't start off as a good golfer, right? It took work, time, and effort, right?
I did it all year round. I was
So
practicing.
we could say that she's the Kevin Hart of Williamstown golf.
I like it.
There you go.
I like it.
That's one for you. So I talk about this a lot because hard work and effort is something that is undersold. Like we did the Michael Jordan thing a few episodes ago. They said Michael Jordan missed 9,000 shots in his career. Well, he must really stank, right? Yeah. So 26 times he had the game-winning shot in his hand and he missed it. Nobody ever talks about that way. It's the effort putting forward, working hard, and getting there. So Nick, you talk to me, brother. We'll talk. So how did Nick get to where he is today?
Great question, my friend.
I make with him. That's what us Italian people do.
Sure.
That we cook.
So, Bob, when it comes to myself and Valari's Lakeside, I have one thing that is hard to replace. I have a brother that is part of our program here.
I know.
So, as partners, we've met my brother in the past, of course.
He should be here. Where
He should be. He's probably sleeping. But with that being said, as a team, we've worked very well together. We've done tremendous things. He's always had some ideas that have worked. I've always put a few things on the table that have worked as well. But it's the part about being dedicated to your skill.
Okay.
Meaning you're coming in every morning, making sure that everything is ready to go for the day, bringing on great employees like Juliana here
There
to
you
my
go.
left. This is all part of the equation. If you don't have good people to
so
make
true.
this work,
So true.
it could be a problem.
Yep.
But
I agree.
in the morning, like I said, you get up, carry out your duties, make sure that everything's ready to go, create friends, create a network of other people, even people that are in the business, the same business that I'm in. You know, we collectively talk once in a while and
Yep.
we try to pick each other's brains.
I'm going to kill this because I'm sure the microphone's picking that up. And that's some conversation we had last time. It was like, if you're the smartest person in the room, find a new room. So, like, aligning yourself with other people in the industry that maybe have done things that you haven't done before, or doing things that you think you should do, or bouncing off somebody else. That's invaluable, for sure.
It truly is.
Yeah. So I got a question I wrote down on our sheets here, right? Lessons. Actually, what I tell people is lessons can be hard, but they're worth learning. So let's go with this. What lessons have you learned the hard way? So Richie, we'll go you first on this one.
This one was very recently. Don't drive your car without an expired registration.
This has happened
Never.
multiple times, though.
I know. It's upsetting. I've learned my lesson, though. I've learned my lesson. Never tell a woman to relax.
Take it easy.
I can agree with that.
There you go.
Can vouch.
No, but not doing something with intention.
Right.
So whenever I'm focused on something, whether it be golf or whether it be teaching, or not doing it with any intention, just going out and doing it, never gets me the results that I want.
Right.
So everything you do, you go out with intention, or else it's not gonna.
Yeah, and that's one of the
Turn
things
out
we
well.
preach at the golf school. Is we could teach Jojo the chimpanzee to hit golf balls, but he's not practicing.
Mhm.
Right? In order to practice, you need to do every rep with attention and intention, which is awesome.
Yep.
I want to piggyback on something you just said. It's reminded me. If a woman says, if you ask her how she's doing, and she says fine,
She's not.
things are not fine.
She
Yeah,
wants you to keep asking.
right.
I learned that one as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. Juliana, have you learned any golf lessons?
We're learning.
We're learning. Constantly. Have you learned any lessons the hard way?
I have. I've learned a few things, especially playing and getting lessons. I've learned about teammateship and about being respectful and the rules on the course, of course. 'cause
Etiquette, right?
I used to play softball, so softball versus golf is a completely different sport, different technique, different rules, respect, everything like that. And people always think that golf is a very slow-paced sport, and it's not a sport, but it really isn't. It's really mental, and it is physical too on the body, because in high school you're not allowed to drive the carts.
Right.
You have to walk. So I say I learned about dedication and teammateship and friendship. I made a lot of great friends that I'm still friends with to this day after graduating high school, and it means a lot to me.
That's awesome.
And some things I learned was to be patient with myself, because
Patient with
I had that softball temper.
Oh no!
So
I
I
don't
let
want to see
that.
that.
I
That
let-
Italian temper? Is that what-
Yeah,
Okay.
it's softball Italian temper,
Same
so I
thing.
let that
Yeah,
get.
right.
Yeah. So I let that get to me a lot. So I learned to slow myself down, because that did get me in trouble a few times while playing.
Wow.
So
There you go. All right. So I know the tree behind us learned the hard way. That Nick is
Yes.
We're almost there, Bob. We're
Yes,
almost there.
that tree's got one more golf ball to it,
yeah.
and it's
now-
coming
it's
down
now
into the
with
lake.
Valori's National Tiki Bar Restaurant and tree removal. Sorry,
Gotta be
Nick.
diversified.
Very diversified. All right. So Nick, you give us a lesson you learned the hard way.
A lesson I've learned the hard way is, in my opinion, again, how many years have I been here?
24.
24. There we
If
go.
you do 1, 2, 3, like Richie said, it's consecutive.
Yes, exactly.
All the way up to
There you go.
24.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
I went to 25.
One of the things I've learned is that when you put a plan together, and as you're trying to succeed in business, I learned the hard way of not listening to the people around me.
Yeah, right.
And that happened early on a few occasions, basically. But it's the matter of, you think you know the business, but there's always a day
Mm-hmm.
comes out and it's like, I should have listened to, for instance, my employees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And it happens, like, because they sometimes, when they interact with customers, obviously a lot more than I will,
Yeah.
personally, as they come to a table or a bartender, what have you, and customers make a suggestion, well, who's it going to? It's going to the server, the bartender, and when they come back to me, that's where you're supposed to pick up on that and move forward. But if you don't, that's a lifetime lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And true, the best employees, like we've had some great, like our junior golf league. We have our staff meetings every Wednesday morning at 8. So when we meet, I have at the bottom, as Richie knows, at the bottom of every agenda, I have new ideas. And our junior golf league, which has been very successful, which we just had the banquet here at Valori's on Monday, was an idea Richie generated one day. He said, we teach literally hundreds and hundreds of youth golfers a year. Why don't we try youth golf league? And we've now been doing it for 3 seasons, and it would sell out every season.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something relying on your employees to bring you back good information. So here's what I tell people in terms of growing something or trying to be better at something is, I know a lot of people, like this gets back to when we were cave people living, in caves, saying, avoid difficult situations. I take that in a completely different door. I say you should never avoid a pressure situation, because you're never going to learn unless you grow, right? So rather than being intimidated by a pressure situation, right, learn from it, grow from it, actually embrace it. And that goes for golf and all sports, right? If you're afraid of either success or afraid of failure, you're never going to get to where you need to be. So rather than avoiding pressure, I typically try to seek it out, is what I do. And then again, I am nuts, but that's okay. We've had a lot of success doing what we do. Well, we've made 8, 9 NCAA finals,
Something like
we
that.
had 52 all-conference players, and 5 or 6 All-Americans. Like,
And you had a Richie Stoltz on your team.
yes, All-American Richie Stoltz sitting right there, yes. He does kids' parties for us. The greatest obstacle between achieving success is basically you, is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
If you want to be great at something, it's on you. So studies show when you're focusing on winning or losing, that's when you don't succeed. But when you focus on being the best version of yourself you can be and focusing on the task at hand, it's like almost like a pre-shot routine or a ritual. I don't know if you have any rituals that you do here, but like I know, like Richie, for example, for me, or probably for Jules too, when you go to hit a golf ball, right, what you do before you hit the golf ball is huge. Matter of fact, if you put a stopwatch on those touring pros, within a second or two, their pre-shot routine is the same every time. I always refer back to the 1992 U.S. Open where Tom Kite won. It was one of the worst weather days of all time. It was like 30-something degrees, windy, raining, the whole 9 yards. There was actually PGA Tour pros shooting in the 90s at the U.S. Open. And he won. He shot like 72 or something like that. And I asked him after the round was over, like, Mr. Kite, how did you overcome the weather? And Tom Kite was a little bit of like a golf nerd. He had a very specific pre-shot routine. Stop, go, stop, go. And he said, what do you mean? Like, Mount Vesuvius could have been going off behind him, but because he was so focused on his pre-shot routine and his ritual, that like nothing else seemed to matter. So, I don't know, so you have any things that you do every day here at Valaris that are you know,
I do. There's one in particular. It's actually having a cup of coffee every morning, watching this waterway here,
Oh, nice.
and collecting my thoughts and getting ready for the day.
I love that. I do. How about you, Rich? Any pre-shot routines you have?
Well, I have a pre-shot routine in golf. Not really anything for life, though. Not gonna lie to you.
I prefer if you don't lie in the front.
Make contact, hit it straight.
Well, I mean, that's my goal. That's my goal.
Well, if you saw Richie
I
hit
do
the ball,
have-
right. It's me, Richie, ball go far.
I do have a very specific pre-shot routine that I do practice when it comes to golf. So whenever you see me at the driving range, if I'm putting in like a full practice session, not just kind of swinging at it and warming up my body, I will give the same exact pre-shot routine every single swing that I take.
Nice.
I'll step back behind the golf ball the whole 9 yards. I bring out my inner Tom Kite.
There you go, baby.
Nice.
Jules, do you have anything that you do ritual-wise, golf-wise, wrestle-wise?
I do for here, because
Oh.
I usually open here. So I usually drive here, and then I kind of just sit in the parking lot for a little bit. And I actually kind of like write in a journal, collect my thoughts
wow.
too. I don't
Okay.
get to sit out here and drink coffee and look at the water.
I
get to
hope
open
my
a
boss
restaurant.
is in a good mood today.
That's what I say. I'm like, wait, I hope Nick is in a good mood. I hope he's not gonna yell.
Sure,
I
what
hope
you
he's
said
not
before you got here, baby.
mad.
I'm just telling you.
I'm hoping, I'm praying that he's not gonna be mad today. And then when I see the good mood, I'm like, okay, he's in a good mood today. Like we could be
Solid.
friends today.
Welcome.
But that's what I do, just to get myself ready for the day. Because sometimes you come in here and you're scheduled till a certain time, and then you just get in the groove. And then if they need help, I'll come in at 10:30 and I won't leave till 9. And you don't expect it. You just get in such a groove that you're like, it's 9 o'clock and it's dark out. And I came here when it was just bright morning.
Yep.
Like you don't
Yep.
expect it,
Well,
but I love it.
That's your industry. Our industry is like, it's never the same thing day after day.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Life is like a box of chocolates for sure. Yeah. So I'd like to throw this out there too, because we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. People are really consumed with what other people think, right? And we've all fallen victim to it, right? So I like to tell you, like, the best choice is the decisive choice, the choice that you believe in your heart is right. But going through this today, like, I read a lot. James Lohr, I got some of my stuff today, Dr. Lohr, about mental toughness, and basically what he's saying is you need to focus on your core strengths, your beliefs, and what you think. But there's many times in my life, not so much now, I'm a little bit more older and crotchety, but like where I took other people's opinion in there, and I knew it wasn't right, and I did it anyway, and then, it's a lesson learned. So I guess, is there an area, we'll start with the Dashing Richie Stoltz, where you took someone else's advice and you clearly knew that it's probably what you shouldn't be doing, and don't mention rampant drug use.
No, as you know, as my mother may know, as Amanda knows, I'm a terrible listener. So if you tell me to do something, I'm probably not going to do it. No, I can't think of an example where someone told me to do something and I took the advice knowing it was wrong, because, I mean, me turning professional, everyone told me it was wrong, and I did it anyway. So, yeah, I don't really listen to other people.
No, that's good.
Unless they have something that, kind of lines up with what I'm trying to do.
And you're coming close, man. We
Yeah.
dismissed the U.S. Open qualifying this year by 3, I think.
This year was 4, last year was 3. Yeah.
We're getting worse.
But it was, well, no.
Good math.
We didn't learn anything.
It was a tough golf course this year.
Yeah, it was a tough golf.
Who was it?
It was at Running Deer.
Yeah.
They had
Running
those
Deer.
pins in the toughest spots, though. Those greens over. You ever play Running Deer?
I have, yeah.
Those greens are just
Yeah, they are.
up and down and up and down, and they had the pins in really tough spots. And to be honest, in those qualifiers, if you hit 1-2 bad shots, it's game over.
Yeah.
So, and you scoreboard watch, and apparently you're game over. right, Bob?
Yeah. I don't support. But I believe that. We and I debate this, but like.
Even though you had an
watching is
ex-player of
never-
yours?
Never a good thing.
You had an ex-player of yours agree with me, just saying.
Yeah, and
Someone who watches the podcast every single week sent out a text said,
you
you
jump
know,
off
I
a bridge,
agree
I'm
with
not
you.
jump off a bridge either. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Mm.
So my own personal belief is never watch a sport because that's a moving target, right? I always think you should be the best version of yourself. You should try to go as low as you can. If you start looking at the board, like I always say, like if the guy's winning a tournament, and he twists his ankle and bogeys 4 holes in a row, and you're like, good, and now I only have to, make a 3-shot comeback. Like, no, you go as low as you can go, right? Forget him, right? You can't control what he's doing. That's my own opinion. Right. Well, how about Nikki? How about you? Is there advice you've taken? Yeah, that might be picked up on the mic, so you might want to grab that. There you go. Any advice you've taken that in personal professional in golf? Watch out for that tree.
The advice I've taken from my father, where basically he has told me that you're never going to solve the problems that you may or may not have at your restaurant in 15 hours of every day. Take time for yourself to just, breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that's been something I'm still working on, by the way.
I
Bob.
know. You made both. Yeah.
Still
Breathing.
working
Breathing.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As I'm sitting up at 2 a.m. working on something. Yeah.
Exactly.
That prototype, by the way, I showed you.
Yes.
I made 2 of them, right? I showed it to one of my customers yesterday. He offered to buy it on the spot. So now I'm down to 1. The guy bought one right on the spot. So
Really?
yeah, I think we'll talk more about that later.
Oh,
but
wonderful.
Jules, do you have anything you want to? Any bad advice you've taken from people that you knew was wrong, but you?
I wouldn't say I've taken it. I would say I went against it, kind of.
Okay.
Because I went to college for all-inclusive childhood education, and I've had people tell me, like, don't do it, like, it's not worth it. And I will say I did change my major because I found it's something I didn't want to do. But I will say it's a lot harder than people think it is, and if you persevere and you get through it, you can do it. Like, I graduated with honors, so I got all A's.
You're working for ours.
Yeah, like, I worked here full-time. I went to school, like, and I graduated high school with all honors. Like, if you put
That's
your mind
awesome.
to it, I think you can do it.
Good.
But you just have to
Great.
put in that dedication and the time and the work to get there.
That's
and, like,
great.
I just graduated, and now I'm going back to school again.
That's awesome.
And Nick always told me I could stay at Valari's
There you go.
because, I'm his favorite. I'm just kidding.
Good people. Good people.
Yeah.
Good peeps. Good peeps. I love it. I do. All right. So we're getting close to the end of the program. Me personally, I like to mention these 4 key areas that I think is a 4-step process. And I said Dr. James Warrior, the book. Actually, as you mentioned, your father. My father gave me this book. My father passed away over 25 years ago. But like, I like to, from time to time, go through stuff that he had given me. It gives me a whole, he was a professional motivational speaker and a college professor and just a great guy, golf instructor, obviously founded the golf schools. So I've molded a lot of what I do in life after his example. So here's a 4-step process, right, for success. 1, self-discipline. Right? Nothing ever comes easy, folks, okay? Self-discipline is the cornerstone for everything that you do. Now, with that comes self-control. Once you get, this is step number 2, once you get discipline, self-control becomes much easier. Okay, you develop patterns, you develop rituals, you start going through things. 3, self-confidence. All feed into each other. Once you get self-discipline, you get self-control, then you get confident. You get confident in the beliefs of what you're doing, right? You nail things. You want to be your own biggest internal cheerleader, okay? Yeah, it's great to have other fans, but you can't live what we're trying to discuss. And I'm glad nobody took bad advice and went in a bad direction, right? You need to live on your own internal compass. And then last is self-realization, right? Being the best version of yourself. If you follow those 4 steps, success will come. Anyway, I got a little serious on you folks. I try not to get serious too often, but no, I also want to see you guys succeed. So remember, right, as we always say, if you get anything out of this podcast, right, we get 10% when you're rich and famous. Just saying, all right? Anyway, with that, by the way, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. And we have our online stores for both the Breakfast Ball and the South Jersey Golf Schools. I'm Bob Cardier, your host. Richie, did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
No, nothing.
I don't think so.
No. Nick, do you have anything you want to add about the Valari's Lakeside Augusta National or Valari's National Golf Course?
Always remember, open 7 days a week, 856-228-5244, ValarisLakeside.com.
And there's a distinct chance you might see, me or Nick,
That's good.
or even Richie, or
That
Jules at the Tiki Bar at some point.
I still have a gift card.
Jules, everything you want to add? You want to say anything?
I mean, come to Valari's, eat the food, it's real good, and ask for me to be your server. Hi.
Yeah, that's
Perfect.
Jules. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. God bless. See you next time.
Glass of bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. Alcohol, because no great story ever started with "I'll have a salad."